All right, 2 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. With me, Trebi Hammond. This morning, we get into our roundtable discussion, and I have in studio my guest who will be joining me in studio, and then one other one who will be joining me over the phone lines for this all-important conversation. This morning, we're talking youth authorship. We see a lot of young people writing books these days. You see somebody publishing their book. It's on Instagram, using Instagram Reels, people publishing on Amazon KDP, and what have you. And so we want to have a conversation on that, really. And we're exploring how young people are not just writing, but building real businesses around their words. And of course, it's a safe space. We will implore our guests to share their stories dispassionately, and then we can get to pick a thing or two. But if you want to join the conversation, please feel free to WhatsApp me on 0544321019, 0544321019, or engage us on our social media platforms at ZFMGH on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Instagram, Facebook, and X at ZFMGH. We're also streaming live on YouTube and Facebook at Z Multimedia. You may want to check that out and share the link. I mean, tell a friend to tell a friend that we are getting into the conversation right away. I have in studio with me the author of It Is In You. It Is In You. His name is Mr. Caleb Shally. Anytime I hear him mention his name, he says, "My name is Shally Caleb." And I like that so much. And also, we'll be joined later in the conversation by DeGraft Boachi, who is also an author, and they're going to share their stories with us and see the challenges, what they've been through, trying to publish, and then how we can learn a thing or two from their stories. Caleb.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
It's a pleasure to have you in studio this morning. It is in you.
Yeah.
It is in you.
You'll be asking what?
Exactly. What is in you? Let's start from there.
All right. So, It's In You is a book that explores on 3 P's. 3 P's. The first P is purpose. And in the concept of purpose, I explore the universal law of purpose, which says that purpose precedes creation. That if anyone should be in existence, it means that the person has a purpose tied to him. And there is a reason why you are here on earth. Why are we here if we can't do great things?
Right.
You get me? So that is the first P. And then the second P is principles. Principles are also in you and are in the world. All right, that when you identify them, those are the guardrails to success.
Right.
Those are the guardrails to triumph. And then the last P is power, which talks about the inherent power within us that when we tap into, we are able to do these great things I'm talking about. So that is it. It is in you.
It is in you. Amazing. But what inspired you to write?
All right. So the inspiration actually stemmed from my dad's death. You know, my dad died at a very early. Yeah, I lost my dad when I was just 12.
Sorry
and
about that.
it really broke me. And, you know, my dad was around and I felt like I was in a safe space. I need not to worry about life, Charlie. What else is needed? So I was just relaxed just bothered about my education, go to school, come. But after his death, I sat back and then I thought, is this all life is about? That we go to school, we end up getting job, we pay our rent, we live, we struggle, and then we die. So I was just asking myself questions again and again. And you know, I always say that questions are a seed for answers.
Right.
So by the promptings of these questions, I began to delve into the subject matter of purpose and principles and power. And that led me into combining all my research and the experience I've had into this wonderful masterpiece.
I see. But before that, you were writing other pieces.
Yes, before that, I was writing pieces, spoken word, and words inspiration. So there's something I call words of inspiration.
Right.
And I remember far back, JHS I used to write, but I didn't know I could write a book. Yeah, it was always a dream, but sometimes, you know, the challenges here in our environment and in society can deter you from the dream. And I know we'll talk about it later, so I'll leave it for it. So please continue. We'll continue.
We'll continue that
conversation.
particular. But I know there are other young people that inspire you, because in today's world, you see a lot of young people writing books. I'm trying to work around a book myself.
Exactly.
Very soon.
Exactly. I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I don't want to put timelines on air, but I will do that very soon. But I know there are some young people.
Yeah.
Which young people would you mention that inspired you to write your books?
There is this one person. I'm going to pinpoint one person because I basically mocked him up. Like,
Wow.
I learned everything from him. That is my brother Neelante Mills. I'm sure you know him.
Yeah, Neelante is a brother.
He's an amazing person,
Yeah.
and I was just following him up. You know, I think he's on his second book now, from Faint Not.
Yeah.
And after the book, at that time I had just developed my
So
manuscript.
he has Conquer.
He has Conquer and then
Faint Not,
Not. So after, I was just going through Instagram and I saw how he went about it and publishing. I was like, this is also a young person like me. Although I am in the university.
Yeah.
I think I didn't introduce myself, but if you are listening, I'm in the university.
Exactly. Maybe you should have told us about yourself before.
Yeah.
So we can know that you are young.
Exactly.
So you're still in the university.
I'm still in the
final
university,
year.
final year computer science student.
Okay, level 400.
Level
of
400.
course. Yeah. All right. Okay, now get back to the story. So
Right.
Neelante.
So Neelante, he actually opened up my eyes after having a conversation with him and trying to fish out his experience and get to know how the industry works, and it's been great. Yeah.
So he's your biggest inspiration.
My biggest
Shout out to
inspiration,
Neelante. I'm sure maybe he's listening to this, or he will
Exactly.
listen to this later. Well, but you this is your first book, but have you published, or you're yet to publish?
I've published.
You've published,
But we are yet to launch.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. So you've not started earning yet.
No.
Okay.
No.
But is the whole idea to write a book just something you want to use to express yourself, or something you want to make money from?
It's both an expression of self and profit.
Right.
You know, I believe that we all have a story, and out of our stories we can make profits. God designed the world such that certain basic things are there to drive us to make impact and then income. So it's not just about impact, but income. When you make the income, you can make impact. And impact from your income is something that no one can restrict you. So I'm not just looking at making it a business, but I'm looking at inspiring and impacting the world around me. You know, I believe, I have a personal resolve that everyone should be an author. Everyone. So far as you have life, you should write a book.
Why?
You should. You die today and that ends you.
That's true.
No one else will know that you ever existed. What are you leaving to the generations? What are you leaving that, you know, today we speak about Dr. Miles Monroe, and his book is relevant till date. Why? Because he compounded his ideas, he compounded his philosophies into a book. And this world, there are a lot of people who think that book writing, although it's difficult, the process is not easy. But
you're going to tell us all of that.
Yeah, just writing an ebook is a glorified PDF. So everyone should at least have an ebook of yourself.
Right.
All right, and that is it. So we all have stories to tell, and if you can compound our story, imply some discipline, you can write a book.
What is the typical process for writing a book?
All right. So the typical process.
For you,
for me,
yeah. Where did you start from? Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay, so there are two different ventures that you can consider: self-publishing and then traditional writing. Where traditional writing, you have to go to a publisher to help you through the process. But I did self-publishing, so I got the manuscript myself.
Which of them is cumbersome, or which of them is more difficult?
They both have their disadvantages.
Okay.
But let me tackle traditional.
Yeah. Right.
Traditional is difficult to get into the space. Traditional, using the traditional method.
So there are some gatekeeping.
There are some
on.
gatekeepers, exactly. Let me tell you this story. I was in 200 when I had this vision of writing the book. So I started writing my manuscript, and then I approached one of the big publishers. I don't want to mention their names here in Ghana. And then when I went there, I told them, oh, of course, I'm a student in the University of Ghana, and I want to write a book. So I want them to publish my writing. And they told me I don't have the money they need, or they have to get from me to publish my book. And it broke me. It broke me serious. And for weeks and for months, I never touched my manuscript again. They told me, and I went again. It wasn't like maybe I gave up or something.
So how many publishers do you go to?
3.
3 different
Yes,
publishers.
and I was rejected.
The
by
same,
all of
the same excuses.
Yeah, the same excuses.
Wow.
Because I tell them that I'm a student, and I think I shouldn't have told them that I'm
exactly.
You know, when you say I'm a student, they know that, oh, this guy doesn't have money. But tell them that, okay, you want to publish, your money is ready, and then they are into support. So that is one of the disadvantages of the traditional. But with self-publishing, you have the leisure of creating your own system.
Right.
All right, from the writing piece and what have you. So that is one of the advantages of the
right.
self-publishing.
Now you were telling us about your journey writing your book.
Yeah. So back to it is the developing of the mindset. You know, writing is more than inspiration. It's not just about inspiration. There are a lot of people who argue out there that you should wait to be inspired before you write. You can make writing an inspiration. You can make writing a discipline. And these are 2 different aspects.
Right.
When you make writing an inspiration, you are waiting for something to drop on you before you pick up your notebook and then begin to scribble something down. But if you make writing a discipline and you have a personal resolve that, okay, I'm going to be writing 15 minutes every day, or I'm going to be writing, let's say, 5 pages every day, that is a discipline, and it becomes a dream with a deadline instead of just an open inspiration that I'm waiting to be inspired to write. So that is the first aspect for you to cultivate the mindset that I have to be disciplined. So it starts from the place of discipline. So in my journey, it got to a point I was waiting for inspiration. So I would go and then pray, speak in tongues so much, and I'll be waiting for something to drop on me to write, and nothing was dropping. I was like, God, you are not being fair to me. You are not being fair to me at all. So I think I came across a podcast by Marion Golden, and he was talking about discipline, and I realized that, okay, then this writing, if I really want to do this, I have to be disciplined. I have to put myself at a goal. I have to have a vision before me. I have to focus. That is following one course until success. So I created a path for myself, and I resolved that, okay, this is the path I'm going to take. We write every day. Okay. And that was it. So the first step is to make a resolve. When do you want to publish? How do you want to publish? And then you begin from there. And then you begin to write. You write. Normally, about self-publishing, even with that aspect, after your manuscript is developed, it goes through series of process, proofreading. So my proofreading initially, because of course I'm a student and I didn't have enough money, I gave it to a couple of friends to read through, and these people, I gave them commission, like not what the publishing house would take. But my friends, if I buy them lunch, they will read carefully. That is one advantage of studentship. Like they'll read carefully, give me feedback, correct me, and then so I gave it to them. They read through carefully, and wherever I made mistake or it seemed funny, they just prompted me. And shout outs to Queenie Frida, and then Anthony Doche. They were my first proofreaders.
Wow.
And then right after, I got a lot of knowledge into AI. So I use AI to also proofread grammatically, because I have to get power over my grammar. And although it was good, I realized that it was changing the audience and the tone of my message. It was the same message and the same impact, but a different tone. And that
wasn't Caleb.
Exactly. That is exactly what I wanted to communicate, but I felt I was restricted in English. So I had to just pass it through AI. And I tell you, AI is there to serve us.
That's true.
If you know how to use it, just study prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is just knowing how to communicate with the system, and then it becomes an advantage to you. So that was my first proofreading. And then the next step was, when my proofreading was ready, I still wanted to take it to a next level. So I remember I went to Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship, of which I'm a member, a paid member. And in a presentation, I just made a flash of it that, I've even written a manuscript and I'm looking forward to publish. And then somebody was like, I know someone who can help you.
Wow.
And that was a connection.
Wow.
So it was just speaking up. We'll come up to it. That when you have a vision, you have to speak about the vision. You don't know where your help is going to come from. And trust me, I'll come to you about the miracle of 3IY. The miracle of 3IY is that
3IY is
it is in you.
Okay.
All right. So that's a different concept altogether.
Right.
And I thought I was going to publish just in Ghana. And surprisingly, I was bounced by Ghanaian publishers. But trust me, now my book is global. They were printed in the UK.
Wow.
And they are now in Ghana for the launch tomorrow. So
Amazing.
you can imagine. And it's expensive, but God made a way because I spoke about my vision, I understood it, and then I had sponsors, people who were willing to support the vision. And some of them were my colleagues, some of them were my friends. And shout out to Reverend Edward Ajiman from Full Gospel Businessmen, who is based in the UK. He literally held my hands and then took me through the process again.
Right.
One funny moment is that I had already designed the cover of the book, and I thought this cover design was the best, was good, until I sent it to people outside of the country. That is Reverend Ajiman, and he was in the UK, and he said, Caleb, what is this? This looks like a Ghanaian design. Why don't you want to sell your book on Amazon? And I had not even thought of Amazon yet. And he was like, no, we have to redesign this. And that is where I wish the viewers will see the cover design. The chess play is a whole different mindset behind it. And that is it. So I think exposure also contributes to how you write and how you publish.
Right.
So if you are an aspiring author, you should expose yourself. Attend book launch, all right? And then expose yourself to equal writers. I'll talk about my vision to create a community of writers in Ghana, young writers, because I believe that there are millions and thousands of me out there, people who want to write, but they don't have anyone to hold their hands into the gate of the writing space. And of course, as you mentioned, there are gatekeepers there who are guarding that if you don't have the needed resources, you can't enter. But you have all that it takes to write a book.
Amazing. Now, one of the challenges, I mean, you mentioned that in passing about the sponsorship. Funding is a very major issue when it comes to writing. And I think that is one of the things that has deterred a lot of people from writing, because they are looking for, maybe like you, who went to just 3 people. They think that, okay, even if I'm turned down here, I want to go to another person. And they keep going to publishers, and they are still not getting any help from the publishers and even funding to be able to do that. Tell us about your funding process.
Okay, so the funding process has been a journey.
But just, take it from the challenges.
The challenges.
Yes, how was funding a challenge for you? And then tell us how.
Funding was a big challenge. You know, you see me like this and you think that, oh, Caleb has no problem. I remember my uncle used to say that we were poor and we didn't know we were poor because all those around us were poor. That was the extent of poverty that we lived in. So if you are coming from this background already, you have a mindset blockage that I can't do this. I don't have the money for it. So you have to break the mental blockage. And the next stage to funding, as I mentioned, is to share your vision.
Right.
There are people out there who are willing to give their thousands to you to make sure that your vision comes to me. And that is my story. All right. So the challenge of you gaining fund is maybe you have not spoken about it that much, and you yourself, you are not convinced about what you can deliver, what you can give. So the funding came as a result of speaking about my vision and talking to people about it. It wasn't directly like maybe going to companies, or sometimes we look beyond the horizon, and we want to go to companies or publishers. Sometimes you can speak to an uncle of yours, you can speak to an aunt, you can speak to a lecturer, and then they are able to support. You don't need 10,000 to publish a book.
Really?
You don't. We are looking at what kind of publishing. We have ebook, we have the hard copy book, and there are various means of publishing. All right. So we'll talk about the online, because we are now living in a digital world. So if you sit back and you say that I'm not being funded, then it's a lie. There is this application or a website called Seller, all you have to do is to make sure that your manuscript is ready. If you are not looking at hard press or maybe printing the book, you can just do an ebook. And then when it's ready, after going through the process of proofreading, either by AI or external help, you can get on Seller, SELAR, and then upload your book, go through the process of registering yourself, and you are good. You've published your first book. And that is it. So you don't really need the magic of 10,000 CD funding.
And that is free. Seller is free.
Seller is free.
Wow.
Just that when you publish your book and you sell it, they take commission. And I think their commission is fair. It's fair.
And I know about Amazon KDP.
Amazon KDP.
Yeah. Did you look at that too?
Yeah, we did consider, and we are just about to launch it make it available to the globe.
Right. So you were still talking about the funding.
The funding. So just speak about it. Make sure that you have a clear vision, because I believe that before provision comes, there must be a vision. That is why we call it provision. All right. It's something that comes to you when people are convinced about your vision.
Yeah.
And I say the fund is always there, but you have to make yourself ready for it and make sure that you are qualified for it.
So how do you get yourself qualified?
How do you get yourself qualified? Go for value. Go for value. Again and again. You know, the Ghanaian community is such that we have embraced mediocrity. That, okay, it's okay, but I have a personal resolve that until it's excellent, until it's the best, I don't go for it. Right. So I'm always looking at the best. So even with my printing, I was looking at the best. And of course, UK have one of the best printing industry there, and it just stems from that. Yeah.
All right. Well, 20 minutes after 9. This is the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM, and this morning I'm speaking to two authors. We're just speaking to one now. We're going to get joined by the other over the phone lines pretty soon, and we're talking about youth authorship. How many young people are writing books today, and how they can make money from it. What has been their agenda? What are some of the challenges in their space? How do they promote their books and all of that? Those are the things we are talking about this morning. If you want to join the conversation, please feel free to send me a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019, and I'll do well to read it. And then we will, if you have questions as well, feel free to send us your questions on the same number, and Caleb will respond accordingly. And also on Instagram, Facebook, and X, we're live at ZFMGH. You may want to check us out right now, and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Now, Caleb, let's continue the conversation.
All right.
Now, you mentioned income and impact, two things. Now, a lot of the young people today write because of passions, and passion is usually connected to things you want to make impact in. And so for somebody, I am writing because I want to tell the world about ABC. And for you, it's in you talk about purpose, which is a very important thing. It could be limited to just impact and say, I'm making impact. We can talk about Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm not too sure how much he earned from his books and all of that.
He made millions.
Awesome. But if you read his books, you feel like this is somebody just making impact. But a very key part of the whole thing is the income. How are people earning from books and all of that? And it's your first book, and so that's why I'm not asking you how you are earning, because I'm sure you've read, you've studied all the channels, the means through which you can earn. Tell us about it.
All right, so let me just write from this that it's not just passion, it's a potential profession.
Right.
Writing can be a profession. And how come we have global authors, people with best-selling books? Can you imagine how much John C. Maxwell is making from his books? He sells millions of copies every year, and it can be a side business. It's not something that demands so much of your time, as in you making 9 to 5 p.m. or 8 to 5 p.m. every day. It's a season and it's a window that opens, and I believe that writing and publishing is an investment.
Okay.
You wouldn't reap everything in just a short while, because we live in a society that is now, especially in the Ghanaian community, we are now embracing reading. So if you don't take care, I remember Neil Ante gave me this advice that, Caleb, if you do your first launch and you don't have maybe 1,000 copies sold, it shouldn't break you. Look at the wider picture that, okay, in the future, I'm going to be speaking, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be having workshop. Can I expound on my knowledge from the book and then create a workshop around it? And that is another source of income.
Right.
So that is one of the things that Myron Golden does, who I listen to very often. So after his book, From Trashman to Cashman, he decided to create a workshop for entrepreneurs where they want to learn about how to transition from the business world into global thriving businesses. And that was it. So it's not just about passion, your desire to make impact, but you should also consider it as a profession. And whatever is a profession, you profess. You make people know about it, and you sell yourself. That there is a role that personal branding plays. All right, personal branding plays a significant role because people want to know what you stand for. They want to understand your vision.
Right.
You would buy a book by Miles Monroe or Rick Warren or John C. Maxwell even before you know the details of the book. Why? Because they've created a social impact seed.
Right.
All right. And they are known out there that, okay, this is the message that I stand for. So from my aspect, I want to create the impression that I stand for purpose and leadership. So wherever I go, I make it known to people that this is my personal resolve. That is leadership and purpose. It's leadership and purpose.
Right. So how do you build a brand around it?
It stems from intentionality. Become extra intentional about it. Look at means and how you can make it known out there that you are actually an author. All right. So you go to programs and you make known about your books and you share your books with people. One of the things that I want to do is go to the senior high schools.
Okay.
All right. And subsidize my book after my book launch. So most of the fund that I'm going to raise from my book will go into senior high schools and university projects.
Wow.
To go and then make sure that we have more writers in the industry and to inspire them. Talk to them about my writing journey. Talk to them about purpose and know that they can make impact. So it's not just about passion, but it can also be a profession.
Right. So writing is not just about passion. It can also be a profession. Caleb Shally 2025. All right. Sorry. All right. Sorry. So I have now over the phone lines DeGraft Boachi, who is also an author, and he's also going to share his story with us before just to pick a few things from him, and then we try and wrap up the conversation. So DeGraft, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Good to have you on the Business Breakfast on Zed.
I am very humbled to be on here.
Okay, how many books have you written? Maybe we should start from there.
So I have written 4, but then 3 were free, and I sold 1.
4 books, but 3 were free, and you sold 1.
3 were free ebooks, and then I sold 1.
Wow, awesome! What inspired you to write?
Basically, what inspired me to write is my passion. I hear my colleague talking about passion and interest a lot, and basically, what took me to writing has been passion, and then the need for me to fulfill my calling, because I believe that whatever God gives on your to you and places on your heart becomes something that He has anointed you to.
Right.
I did not just believe that people just or to be pastors only in the pulpit. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes. So as I was saying, I do not believe that people are only anointed to be preachers in the pulpit, but then we are all called to be functional in other aspects in life.
Right.
So, for example, to you or for you, I feel like, I believe that God has anointed you to be seated where you are.
You're right.
To do journalism. Great. So, the story goes like this. back in the university, level 100, University, reading business administration, God literally told me that I would write till I die.
Wow.
That is how I got mine. But then, for confirmation's sake, well, to be honest, let us all be clear about this. I didn't used to like reading. I didn't used to like writing. I just wanted to study, pass, and then I don't any other extra thing I don't like. But then when it said that, I was like, okay, maybe you're talking to the wrong person because I don't like this. I don't like these things that you're talking about.
Right.
Then a doctor friend of mine, Dr. Abigail, she sent me a very long thing to read on WhatsApp. I respond, too long, won't read, and then she replies, leaders are readers, readers are leaders. With my empty head, I got angry because I thought she was insulting me. Well, the Bible was right. It says that it is only the fool who does not see advice as a good thing.
Yeah.
So I got mad. We did a little back and forth. I didn't even speak to her for a while. But later, when I thought about it, I thought, well, maybe she was saying something right. And then it's actually in line with what God said. So why was I fighting? So I went back to read what she said. And then I said, oh, this is actually a good thing. It's very impactful. Thank you for sending it to me. And I apologized to her for doing that thing with it. So then I started, okay, well, let me start reading something. The first book I read was by Norbert Bosso. I don't know if you know Pastor Norbert Bosso.
No, please.
Okay, he's based in the UK.
Oh, okay.
I read his book, and funny enough, the guy who doesn't like reading felt that the book is too small, that he should have added something or some more to it.
Wow.
I don't know. Yes. So then from there, I started buying bigger books, from Miles Monroe to John C. Maxwell, to whoever, to even Dr. Mensa Otabu. I've read like a whole lot of books. Then I started seeing maybe like they all have a certain message to share. Is there something that I can share with people? Because most of my friends, I do not know, for some funny reason, whenever they are in trouble or whenever they need advice, they would call me, and then they say, "Oh, what do you think I should do about this? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, life, any leadership, any kind of life issue." Then I started sitting down and started drafting stuff, started sharing with people. It started in the form of like an inspirational message, like a long thing. And then I was like, maybe it's too long. People will get bored reading it in the morning. So then I broke it down into quotes. From there, I started sharing quotes like every morning. And then I was sharing them like in three days in a week. Then my friends got angry. They said, you cannot do that. You have to do that every day. Yeah. So now I started sharing my quotes every day. The challenge with that is that it pushes you for you to learn a lot.
Right. That's true.
Because you cannot give something you don't have. If you do not have knowledge, you cannot give knowledge. If you do not have wisdom, you can't give wisdom. So the message that you have to share with people, of course, nobody was born into this world with a whole lot of knowledge. We all picked it up.
Yeah.
So if I do not learn a lot, then I cannot give a lot through the message. Yeah, so it makes me read a lot of books. It makes me study. I study from everywhere, whether from movies, music, and also interesting, I'm a sound engineer. So whatever thing that will just give me a lesson, I'll pick it up. And then I'll write it somewhere.
I see.
And thank God for technology. So when I write it, I put it in an AI column or something to check if maybe it's for somebody.
Okay.
If it's not for anyone, then I see that the English, the grammar, everything is good. Maybe change get a synonym for a certain normally used word. Then I just good. Then I change it and then I share it with people. And interestingly, to be honest, I have been happy doing this thing, and the impact has been. I'm not even kidding. The impact has been different.
Wow.
It has been
awesome.
different.
So it means that it started as a hobby, just doing the quotes.
Yes.
Just doing the quotes and then gradually transition. So just started small. So maybe you are listening to us right now. it might just start small. You just write something on your WhatsApp status. And today, I think social media even gives all of us the opportunity to be able to just write anything anywhere.
True.
Yeah.
You know, just when my brother DeGraft was sharing his story, I just remembered that the first book that was bought for me was in primary school. That was a book by Emmanuel Baden, titled, it's a Ghanaian, and titled Winning Through Information. That was the first book. It was bought for me on my 11th birthday, and I read the book on my 13th birthday. I unwrapped it on my 13th birthday because I was angry. I was like, who buys a book for a young person on the birthday? So I got angry, and trust me, it shifted me. And right after, from age 13 till now, I've been buying book every month of my life. And I have a library at home. Sometimes my mom can look at me and be like, so when I send you money for food, you go and buy books? Because like after every semester, I'm coming with a box full of books. And you know, just as the graph was saying, you cannot give what you don't have.
Right.
Exactly. We are not saying that because you can also write a book, you should just sit somewhere and compile some lies and then no. You have to do your research. You have to do your homework, and then that begins it.
Right, DeGraft, you said that you have published one of your book. I mean, you've written 4 and you've monetized 1. At what point did you see that? I'm guessing it's the last one you wrote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just the recent one.
The recent one. So at what point did you say that now let me transition from writing for free and to making money from it?
Okay. So I have thought about it. In fact, I actually wanted the Blue Street to be free. That was just it. I wanted to be free because in my planning, I wanted to launch the book. You know, get a venue, then put things together from speakers to musicians to everything. I wanted to do that. But then, just as my brother was saying, I had funds issues, right? So then I said, well, if I have funds issues and I have this book, what can I do with this? Then I was speaking with my friend who is now my PR, and then she said, why don't we sell this one and maybe start making something out of it? And when we do make something out of it, we would now launch the next one. Yes. So I considered it. I prayed about it. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we can sell this, and if we get any revenues from it, we save, and then we do the bigger thing that I wanted to do. So, yes, for my brother, he has been able to put funds together, go straight to the launch and everything. But then if you are listening and maybe you cannot do that big jump yet, it doesn't mean that you can't sell.
Sell, right.
Just as he was saying, there is that seller. But then what the plan I did, or the path I took, was that I did pre-orders. Okay. And then interestingly, the first week that I said, oh, if you give me your money and wait for, say, 2 to 3 weeks, you get your book, 50 people paid.
So that's also another approach.
Amazing.
That's also another approach.
50 people paid, and I was like, what? I wasn't even ready for this. And by the time that everything was done, I sold 305 books without launching, without doing anything extra. Say maybe a Google ad or an Amazon ad. No, I didn't do anything like that. All I did was do the pre-order design that I paid for by a designer, and then I just started sending it out. My friends also started pushing it all around, and up until now, I do not know how, but my books are being sold in Germany, Canada, the US, UK, everywhere. They are there.
Wow.
Via Amazon.
I see. So, via Amazon, okay.
Yeah. So if you do not have a whole lot of funds to do the big jump yet, it doesn't mean stop. Okay. What it means is you can take another approach. Well, for me, what I did was the pre-order, and it helped.
It helped, right? Okay. Caleb, you have something to say?
I also believe that technology empowers young artists to publish without permission. All right, that is one of the leverage that because of technology, just as you are mentioning Amazon KDP, it gives you the opportunity to publish without permission. You don't need someone to grant you the permission that now you can write. And it's a story that you are telling the world. You have to start from somewhere. So I believe that my brother DeGraft also had his share of challenges, but you just have to look beyond the challenges and then create a solution. You know, that uniqueness of your story is what the world needs.
Right.
And you have it. You can deliver.
Awesome. Let me come back to DeGraft one more time. What has been the experience after the monetization?
Please, could you come again? I didn't really catch you.
Yeah, I'm asking that what has been the experience? I mean, what has been your monetization experience, really?
Hello,
can you hear me? Hello, DeGraft?
Yes, I can catch you now. I can hear you now.
So I'm asking that what has been the experience since you decided to monetize?
What has been the experience? Well, the exposure has been different. So whatever I used to think that maybe if it's free, it might keep bringing people in, but then the moment I put a price tag on it, it even increased the reach.
Wow.
Yeah. So you might be thinking, oh, when I put a price tag on it, maybe people will not buy. Maybe people will be too scared. Like, but the truth is, the moment you put a price tag on it, people now start valuing you differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. They see that, oh, this guy, he means business. Because I started with, as I shared with you, quotes, and then I started releasing blogs. I had a blog site on WordPress that people were thronging and reading. When I release anything free, we will get like 300, 400 downloads. But then when I put a price tag on it, I have seen even different people go approaching me and say, oh, when is the next thing coming? What are we going to expect, or what should we expect? So what, to me, after monetizing, the exposure has just been different. It has been placed on another level.
Right. So what I see from your story is that you started from writing on your WhatsApp and all of that, just sharing codes.
Yes.
And then you went to blogs, and then you started publishing for free. And the blogs give you the opportunity to create a community around it.
Exactly.
Of course.
Caleb.
I was just about to speak about the ecosystem of writing. And I think it's very, very important as young writers to have a community of support. And that is what I want to do after my lunch. I think I'll get in contact with DeGraft so that we see how we can help other young people, all right, to create a community where young people have a backing and you know where to go to, what step to move from here and then there. And it just solves almost 70% of the problem. And then the rest is just up to you to give up the rest of the 30.
Right. What?
Yeah. So talking about community. Okay.
Go ahead, DeGraft.
Okay. So talking about community, it's basically everything. That's where you start.
Exactly.
There's a reason why God didn't create over 7 billion islands and placed every human being on it. He created only one earth and placed all of us in it.
Right.
There's a reason why God best us through family. So community is a God-designed thing. So when you use what God has already put in place to push your agenda, it's going to blow your own mind. My friends, it all started with my friends. Because I'll put a quote there. At first, I didn't even have a broadcast of people receiving my quotes and sharing it around. It was just, I'll just put it on my status. Then people started screenshotting or screen grabbing. And then they started sharing. And they just started requesting it. Please send it to me personally.
Wow.
That's how it all started. Send it to me personally. And as of now, I have over 54 people doing it globally. So imagine if my friend has 20 friends, how many people are seeing it online in a day?
Amazing.
Yeah. If I have one friend who has 20 friends and post my quotes in one day on WhatsApp, how many people are seeing my quotes on that day, on that particular day, from just that friend alone? So imagine the impact. The ripple effect is just
right.
Yeah,
right.
It's magnanimous.
Right. Tell us about branding, the impact of that on your sales and all of that.
When you are beginning or when you are starting the whole thing, it is difficult and everything just behooves on you. So you become your own accountant, your own designer, your own everything. You become you do your own everything.
Yeah.
And then if you've flown before on a flight, you'd realize that before the plane gets into the air, the time that it burns a whole lot of fuel is when it taxis onto the runway and then it's taking off. But by the time that it's in the air, there's little fuel burning. Why? Because it has already taken momentum. What am I saying? What I'm saying is when you are starting, the branding, the designing, everything is on you.
That's true.
It's just other people who are seeing and then they are telling you, oh, this thing is too much or this is too little. Can you touch this? Can you touch that? Yes. And I remember I have this very good friend, Adele, who kept telling me, your message is good, your design is terrible. Your message is good. Yes, your message is good. Your message is excellent.
These are the
but your
friends
design
you need,
is
though.
terrible.
Exactly.
Yes. So yes, she just tells it to you like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how can I? Then it behooves on you again to go and do your research.
Right.
Look at the people that you are learning from. Bishop TDJ, Bishop Victor, whoever you are studying from, whoever you are learning from. Look at their pages. Look at how stuff are done. What is branding? Branding is basically the story that are implanted in people's heads, that when your name is mentioned, oh, this is what is coming from the people. It is excellent. It is this. It is design. It is that. But those stories are now inbuilt in those little designs, in those little inscriptions and everything. So if you do not do those things well, then your brand will not stand out right. Thankfully, now I have a PR who is now putting things together in a certain way and manner. But then earlier, you now have to you have to learn a lot. You have to research a lot, and you need friends to tell you, no, don't do this. This one is not too good. Compare it with this one and see.
Exactly.
That one will help.
I'm not cutting you, Degraves. At this point, I just want to give a shout out to my team, my 3IY team. You know, I am the author, but I share my design with them. And then they tell me, no, don't do this. Right. Don't do this.
Exactly.
So you're always looking forward to the second eye view or even the third. And that is what creates the difference. From Joanna to Inshira to Grace to Joel, all of them, they are just giving me a different perspective. And it gives you a ride on to avoid certain mistakes. Yeah. You get me?
That's true.
So you are not an island. You are not an island in writing.
Yesterday I was reading Larry King's How to Talk to Anybody. And that's the very first thing that I saw. I mean, I was just checking the appreciation section of the book. And he says that the book is written by the author, but it's not just by the author.
Not at
a lot of people help you write
exactly,
book, but you might think, oh, this person is the one.
From director Cream to it's a lot.
People, a lot of people come together to make it happen.
Let me just point out something on the branding. You know, your book is your product, but you are the brand. People will buy the book because of you. There are certain people who will not buy the book because they want to read it. They'll buy the book because it's Caleb who wrote the book. You know, up to now, there are people who buy book, they go for book launches. You remember Asamoah when he launched his book, someone paid 10,000, hundreds of thousands.
Captain Amoabe.
Yeah, his book. Come on, 100,000 cedis for a book. Why? Because of the person behind it. So one of the things we can become intentional is to build ourselves. Okay, and I tell young people that leverage social media. There is LinkedIn, there is YouTube, there is Instagram. We shouldn't just leave it there for the dancers to take it alone. I'm not fighting with my dancers, but we also should have a voice there. And I believe that as young people, we must create a voice. You must be recognized out there that no, this is Caleb, this is Trebi, this is Hammond, this is what he stands for. And it just stands from there, and you begin to build your brand. You build a mental picture that when the name I am Shali Caleb is mentioned. So now, you know, I created that video. I know you've seen that video. When that was my first advert for my uncle's remedial school, Unique Transformers College. And when he asked me to do the advert for him, I was like, okay, I'm going to introduce myself in such a way that people are going to be caught by it. So I just started, I am Shally Caleb, and it has become my brand. People look at me and they are like, I am Shally Caleb, and they don't know that they are beginning to identify with me. That how can you meet someone and you don't say I am Nidrebi, but you are saying I am Shally Caleb. So literally, I am putting myself in other people, and that is what branding does to you. It just gives you a mental picture. A mental recognition, and it serves as a ticket to buy into the hearts and the minds of people.
All right. Let me come to Caleb now. Let me come to Caleb. So you mentioned a lot of things. I mean, but would you say that your biggest challenge was the funding?
My biggest challenge.
I know you might want to talk about discipline, the consistency, all of those things, but what do you think is the biggest?
I think the funding was a challenge.
It was the biggest?
Yes, it was the biggest. Apart from that, what else? Nothing could stop me because I was bounced. Like, I was
So
bounced.
How did you handle that rejection?
It was tough, you know. What I could do was to break the imposter syndrome. Now, let me just address this before I even answer your question. There is this kind of imposter syndrome where people think that, okay, I am not enough. I don't have a story to tell.
The self-doubt. Age should not be a limitation. If age should be a limitation, Solomon, I was just learning recently that Solomon wrote over 3,000 proverbs. It's in the Bible. 3,000 proverbs and 1,000+ songs. Can you imagine that? So I have a personal resolve that before I leave this earth, I should have 1,000 books. So you all should watch me, because right after the launch of this, I'm going to publish the next 3 sets. Ebooks. All right, and then we move on to it. So it's just catching the vision and then making sure that you work towards the vision. Right, but you were talking about the funding.
Yeah, I think it was the biggest challenge. But when I began to understand that I have to be bold about my vision and to buy people in, you know, it's either you are buying into someone's dream or someone is buying into your dream. You have to create interest for them to buy into your dream. So if you are a young artist and you are looking at not just ebook, you want to publish, you want to have a big launch, like the way I'm having mine, you can step out there, be bold. Trust me, you are going to be rejected again and again and again. But resilience is not just about you being rejected and coming back stronger. It's about your toughness and the state of your mind to make sure that I have resolved to make this happen and nothing is going to stop me.
Nothing is going to stop me. Right. The Graph, did you also face some challenges?
Oh, yes, I did. You know, just to put this to, funny enough, the next book that I'm writing, the title is Resilient. Thank you. So the main challenge that I should say that I had was with the design, and because I'm not that kind. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not good at designing and stuff. I can write. I can put. I'm good with numbers.
Right.
But I'm not really good with colors and things like that. So when I saw that is my challenge, I had to fix it with someone who knows how to. So thankfully enough, in the same community, friends and all that, I reached out to someone who designed, and I told him, okay, this is my situation. Like, this is the message that I have to share with people. But how do I go about it with the design? Then he gave me guidelines. So basically, yes, I've had the next maybe issue was when I reached out to sellers, people who sell books in Ghana to sell my book. Most of them said no, they will not sell because probably I've not reached the status or the place where they will have to come and retail my books to sell.
So that's your biggest challenge.
So yes, that was one of the biggest challenges when I wanted to sell my book. So I did everything personally and then on Amazon.
Right. So I mean,
so whenever there is a challenge, you find a solution by putting maybe, okay, these people say they will not do it. Who else can do it? What can I do about it? And then you carry on. You carry on too.
Right. So, okay. Thank you very much, DeGraft. Let me come to Caleb and then I wrap up with you, DeGraft. Or let me just finish with Degraft and then we end up in the studio, right? Degraft, tell us what is your biggest advice for young people who want to build a writing-based business?
First of all, find your purpose. And people go around asking,
okay, Degraft, tell them to buy my book as well, because when they read my book, they'll find their purpose.
I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. You must find your purpose and then buy Caleb's book. And then the main, I get this, but what do I do? How do I find this thing? First of all, go to your source. Go to the source. The source is God. God created you. He has the manual about you. He can tell you this and that. Because, for example, for me, he told me I'll write it like that. That is it, cleanly. Or if you cannot hear from God, as I did, or because most people say, okay, how do you hear from God?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear from God, or I can't hear from God. Well, then you should look around you and ask yourself these two basic questions. What do I love to do? Number two, what do people enjoy seeing me do?
I see.
When you answer the answer of these two questions have the ability to give you, oh, this is what you're all about. Or this is what God created you to be. And then when you find that out, maybe especially like in writing, if maybe God has blessed you to know that you are going to write, you have to find out, what should I write about? Should it be sports? Should it be business, politics? Should it be self-help? Whatever it is, when you find out, again, based on those two questions, what do I love to do, or what do I love writing about, and what do people love reading from me? Like when you're able to answer those questions, then you carry on from there.
Right.
And then last one.
Okay.
Make sure, or put this thing in your head, until the diadem of your passion has been placed over your head, never stop or never quit the pursuit. Again, until the diadem of your purpose has been placed over your head, never quit the pursuit.
Wow, amazing. I was actually going to ask you to share just one of your quotes, but you did before I asked.
I just did.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 days ago.
Wow. Until the diadem of your purpose has been placed upon your head, never what?
Never quit the
pursuit. Thank you very much, Degraft. We are so grateful that you spoke to us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
Can I say hello to a couple of people?
Sure, definitely. Go ahead.
Sure. So I want to say a big thank you to, well, first of all, God, and then to my pastor, Bishop Dr. Victor Say, and then to my boss, Reverend Elijah Kujahinkan, and his wife, very, very good people, and then to my family and my friends, whoever supports the Graf Boache and has been sending the quotes every day. Thank you, and God bless you.
Yeah.
And also, God bless my partner. She's a very good one.
Wow, that's all right. Thank you very much, Iga. Please enjoy the rest of your day. We'll stay in touch. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, now let me finish with you, Caleb. Your biggest advice to young people who want to start writing.
Step out. Okay, let me make it this way. Step up and step out. Step up, subscribe to lifelong learning. You know, it's not just about schooling, it's about education. Educate yourself.
Right.
We have the social media now. We have various platforms where you can leverage upon to build yourself. So the first thing is to step up, imply the discipline, put in the effort. And then number two, step out. Keep up with something, be known for something, and then keep showing up. Convince people that this is what you want. Let them know that this is what you stand for, and then you begin to do something.
Awesome. Now you've been mentioning launch. Tell us about it before we go.
All right. So I'll be launching my first book tomorrow, 12th April 2025, Saturday. Just tomorrow at the Airport View Hotel at 3:30. If you want more information, you can go to www.iamshalicaleb.com, my website, to get more information. If you want to purchase a copy, ebook, it will be available exactly 3:30 tomorrow. You can purchase it as well. And then,
that's it. Right. It's free, eh? Of course, launches are not.
It's free. It's free. Please, I want you to show up.
All right. Caleb, thank you very much for making time to speak to me this morning. I know you are busy running around because of the launch that is happening tomorrow, but you made time to be here. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Right. So that was Caleb Shali, and on the phone was DeGraft Boachi. These two gentlemen helped me break down the topic for today, the business of youth authorship, and it's been a very fruitful conversation. And of course, that's how we wrap up the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM today. We streamed live on on YouTube at Zed Multimedia and on Facebook at ZFMGH. You may want to catch the recording there and play it again and get inspired to go start writing that book that you've been postponing for so long. But thank you very much for staying with us. My name is Nitrebi Hammond. We're back again on Monday. Until then, please enjoy the weekend. And when you think Ghana thinks that, up next is The Brighter Side with NYA, the brand. Stay tuned.